Lithuania's capital, Vilnius, is celebrating its 700th anniversary this year. Now, much of that history was created by its Jewish community. Vilnius was long known as a center of Jewish culture and learning, lending its name to the great 18th century rabbinical scholar, the Vilna Gaon, and earning a name as the Jerusalem of the North. But it was also a scene of Jewish persecution and tragedy, culminating in the Nazi liquidation of the Vilnius Ghetto in September 1943. So this week, Lithuania and Jewish leaders also marked that somber anniversary. And among those who took part in marking that there as a guest was Professor Dina Porat, emeritus in the Department of Jewish History at Tel Aviv University. She joins us now from the town of Ramat Sharon in Israel. Professor Porat, thank you for joining us. Well, tell us a little about going to Vilnius and how you see the significance that during this year of celebration of the 70th anniversary, Lithuania also marked the anniversary of that tragedy of the Jewish ghetto there.
Yeah. Thank you for having invited me to speak about this really moving Memorial Week. I can call it a Memorial Week because near the Kovno ghetto, the ghetto in the city of Kovno, the killing site in the 9th Fort was a place a delegation of about 100 people who came from Israel, stayed, spoke, described again what happened them, put flowers, etc. And then a walk during the Kovno ghetto. And then Vilnius, which you mentioned quite rightly, was the place called not only Jerusalem of the North, but the Jerusalem of Lithuania. A vibrant Jewish community, creative, with all political use, with all forms of writing, creating, etc., lived there for hundreds of years and was executed, one may say, in the summer of 1941, and then its end in the summer of 1943. So we went to Ponar, to the place near Vilna where the killing took place. And again, the prime minister came, ministers, ambassadors, flowers, speeches. I think I can say, you know that, sir, a minute before we started, just a minute ago, I got word from the Israeli ambassador in Lithuania to the effect that today and yesterday, the Lithuanian government decided to commemorate better the contribution of Lithuanian Jewry to adopt the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism, to have mutual projects, to honor Jews who fought back in the ghettos of Lithuania, Vilna, Kovna, Shavli, and the others. So I feel a change. Right. I do feel a change. How there is you see, 80 years have passed. There is a third generation. The third generation is more open to acknowledge what happened. It's not their fault.
Right.
It's not their fault. And they are open to acknowledge what happened, to confirm and I understand and face the fact that Lithuanians killed Jews.
Okay, well, let me ask you that, Professor Porat, because one of your fellow guests there, the Yad Vashem chairman, Danny Danian, spoke in Parliament. He did compliment Lithuania, just as you're doing now, but he also said Lithuania also has to, for example, stop the glorification of some of those men, similar to the story we saw about Ukraine before, some of those Lithuanians who collaborated with the Nazis and are still regarded as heroes by some in Lithuania.
I was present when he spoke, of course, and he's absolutely right. He also acknowledges the fact that there are steps, that there is a new generation, that they are being more open. But please understand that all over the East European region, once dominated by Soviet Russia, there is this problem that people who were anti-communists were on the other side pro-Nazis. And they fought the communists. So today, in the post-communist era, they are considered heroes. But they were fighting with the Nazis and helping their plan to execute, to kill, murder all Jews. So Danny Dayan, chairman of Yad Vashem, told them point blank. He said, an anti-Semite cannot be considered a hero. And you cannot now have a monument for him in the main square of the city.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Professor Dina Porat, thank you so much for joining us on Jewish World Weekly.